Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick Instagram training for you guys. I know some of you who are new, you're trying to get your Instagram kind of up and running, and you really want to work Instagram and that be a valuable part of your business. But it can be kind of hard, like if you come into the business, not already having a huge following on Instagram, it can seem a little overwhelming, and you're just like, I don't even know how to get this started. Um, those of you who do already have a big following on Instagram, like 1,000 or more, awesome. Just keep on building it. And if you have that much already, you probably kind of already built that up a little bit, before this. So you're semi-familiar with that. But those of you who maybe just had like your close friends following you, close friends and family, and so you maybe only had like 100 or 200 or 300, seriously, you can build your Instagram up really fast, and it can be seriously a valuable aspect of your business. So it's going to take a little bit of work. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not just super easy or anything, but it is definitely very doable, and Instagram is huge. Half of my customer base comes from Instagram. So definitely, it's worth the work. So I really want to just kind of show you guys how I built mine up, and that way y'all can hopefully do the same if you want, and also start seeing tons of fruit from Instagram. Okay, so when I first started the business, I only had about 300 followers on Instagram, 300-ish, I guess. I was following less people than were following me, so that's good. You do want to have more followers than you're following. And then I have now built it up to like 1330-ish, so a little shy of 1400. And I've done that literally in less than 5 months. I haven't even been in the business 5 months yet. It'll be 5 months on in about 2 weeks from now. So, I mean, if I can, that's huge. 300, let's just for the sake of keeping it simple, let's just say 300 to 1300. I mean, that's huge. And to be honest, the past month I haven't even been building up my following. So I did that in, less than 4 months. So, basically, what I did is pretty simple. I feel like there's a lot of stuff floating around on building up your Instagram and just good systems on how to work Instagram. To be completely honest, I did not do most of the I did not do the methods that were on most of the trainings. I tried to keep mine very simple, and it definitely works for me. Couple things I want to preface with is I do not crowdfire. I know a lot of people do crowdfire, and you may see that on some trainings, but here's the thing. I don't want a bunch of random, non-relevant people following me. That doesn't make any sense to me. So if I look through someone who has 5,000 followers and half of them look like ISIS, I'm like, okay, that's not even, that's doesn't help your business at all. So that being said, I like to make sure my followers are very relevant followers. I like to make sure that I'm intentionally following people. So for that reason, I do not crowdfire, because when you crowdfire, yeah, you may be crowdfiring a boutique, and you may get a lot of good people, but sorry, did I say crowd? I don't know what I said. Crowdfire is the app, and it's a following app. Crowdfire follow. Okay, I get all tongue tied when I'm talking about crowdfiring, or crowd following, whatever it is. Anyway, so I don't do that, and I don't train anyone on my team to do that either. So I hope you won't do that. Okay, so what I do is very simple. I go to say, I'm going to show you my Instagram. I would go to the search button on Instagram. I hate the glare. It's kind of hard to. Oh, hold on. Okay. Can we? Okay. Can we see this? All right. Oh, gosh, it's so hard to. So I would go through here, and I would find a picture that just looked relevant to me. Like, so honestly, it would probably be this one, which you can't really see, but it's a mom and her baby. So I would click on that. Just 1 second, guys. Okay, so I would click on that. Now, it has 1,200 likes on this picture. So there's a good chance this is, let me see. Yeah, this is like a blogger. She's got 40,000 followers. She's not going to be interested in following me back. However, her likers of her picture would be interested in following me back. Pretty good chance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on those 1,200 likes, and it's going to pull it up like this. Sorry, I know the glare is, there we go. So see, it's going to pull it up like this. Now what I can do is I can literally just start anywhere I want. I mean, obviously it makes sense to start at the top. I didn't literally start at the top because, okay, so see, this is like a business. Sorry, it's really hard to navigate with the glare. So see, there's like several businesses. So I'm going to skip past those. I'm also going to skip past any men that are on there. Sorry, my hair's a mess. Okay. So I'm also going to skip past any men that are on there, and I'm going to go straight to the first woman. And what I'm going to do, so there we have, I'm going to hit follow, and then it's going to immediately, can you see this, guys? It's going to immediately drop down some more suggestions. So I have 2 ways that I do this, okay? I'm going to give you both ways, and that way you can kind of see what's best for you, or you can trade off. So one way that I would do it is I would just go through that whole list of likers, that whole 1,200 people that were liking, and I would follow any of the relevant people. So I would follow anyone that's not a business, anyone that's not a man, and any woman that doesn't have like a crazy amount of followers. If I click on a woman, you know, she looks like a nice woman, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna follow her. But then I see she has 100,000 followers. Don't waste your time. Those people are not going to follow you back. So just don't, you know, just hit the back button, go back down the list. So, you know, chances are when you're said and done, you know, you're probably going to end up following half the people on the list. Okay. So, and I mean, if it's, I personally like to go to the, pick a picture that only has like 200 likes, not 1,200. That was just the first example when I was, pulled it up to show you guys. But if it's like a 200 liker list, that's so much more doable because chances are you're probably going to end up following about 150 of them, and that takes you about 15 minutes and you're done. And so you just followed a lot of really good potentials. Okay. But in this case, it's 1,200. So what I'm saying is, if you do get a heavy list like that, like 1,200, obviously you don't have to sit there and follow every single one. I mean, just get as far down the list as you want, and when you get tired, take a break. You know, you can do this again later. Okay. But then the other way that I would do it is, so I just like followed this girl, which was the first girl that I clicked on the list. Well, whenever you follow someone, I'm trying to get it to where there's no glare. Okay. So, okay. So it drops down more people. So then you can literally just click the next person, and then you can follow them, and then it'll drop down more people. And it'll just, like, every person you follow, as soon as you hit follow, it's going to drop down more people, and you can click on another person and then follow them, and it'll drop down 2 more people and follow them. And do you see what I'm saying? And then you can, after you get, you know, you've done this like 30 times, and then you finally get to a point where you're dead ending, like the people that are dropping down, it's like Target and Kohl's. You're like, okay, that's not what I want to follow. Then you just hit the back button. But remember, it was dropping down. It was showing you 2 at a time. So you can hit the back button and get all the ones that you didn't get, you know, because you obviously were only hitting 1. I don't know if that's confusing or not. I would show you in more detail, except for it is kind of hard to show you with the glare. So, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. So that is my first step with Instagram. That's what I do. It's honestly very simple. And when I first started, I was very diligent with my Instagram. I was literally doing that every single night. Worst case scenario, every other night. But honestly, I did it every night for a while. So what I did after that, let me show you the next step, is I go to my app called Followers. I'm going to try to show y'all this. Okay. Do you see that right there? The one with the green, the red, and the blue person. That's the app I use to keep track of my followers and everything on Instagram. So you heard me say a few minutes ago about how it's very important to keep the amount of people that you're following less than the amount of people that are following you. You want more people following you, okay? So what I do after I go on a following spree, let's say I follow 200 people. It's going to make me load this and refresh it. Okay, so in this app, it's really cool. It has, what in the world? Sorry, some ad. And by the way, the Followers app is free, so no worries about that. Okay, so when you pull the app up, I'm really going to try to do this with no glare. Sorry, guys. Okay. So you can't really see, I don't think. So let me just read it to you. It has your new followers, which I never click on that. People that have unfollowed you. If someone ever unfollows you, just go unfollow them back. Because you don't, there's no point following somebody that unfollowed you. So if you see that number goes up, click on it, see who it was, go ahead and unfollow them as well. Where it says are not following you back, this is what you're going to use. The next thing says you are not following back. Don't worry about that. If someone's following you and you're not following them back, who cares? Good. That's just an extra follower for you. And then it has blocking you. And honestly, that doesn't really matter. I mean, some people don't want any random people following them. So they, like, you could go follow a random person and they're like, who is that person? I don't know them. Block. Most people don't do that, but every now and then that happens. So, okay. But you'll click on where it says are not following you back. This is everyone that you are following, but they have not followed you back. So like what's going to happen is when you go on a big major following spree, some of them are going to request you back. So let's just say you follow 200 people. There's a good chance that like 20 of them will follow you back right off the bat. They didn't even have any interaction with you yet. They just saw that you followed them or requested them, and they immediately request you back. So that's great. You can go accept those requests. Awesome. However, we still want those other 180 people to try to follow you back too. So say they accept your request, but they didn't follow you back. This is where this app comes in handy. You're going to click on I don't know if you can see. Sorry. You're going to click on are not following you back. See, it says 6 people are not following me back. So I would click that and it's going to pull a list up and it's going to show the people that aren't following you back. And you're going to literally click on them and there's a square that opens them up in Instagram. And so it's great. It takes you straight from the app to Instagram. Go to Instagram. It's going to pull up their profile and you're going to like 3 things. And then you're going to comment on something. And then in the top left corner, it's going to say back to followers. You're going to click that. It's going to take you back to the list. You're going to do that to every person in the list. If you have a lot of people, it can be overwhelming. So like sometimes, I mean, if there's 180 people, you're like, okay, I can't do this all at once. That's fine. I like to do it in groups of 20. So I'll sit there and I'll do 20 and then I'll see where I'm at. If everything's quiet, my kids are good, I'm like, okay, I'll do 20 more. Or if it's late at night and everyone's sleeping and I'm up late getting a little extra work done, putting in that extra 3%, then I will do 20. And then I'll see, okay, I'm tired, but I can do 20 more. I'll do 20 more. And then I'm like, okay, I can do 20 more. You know, and I just keep going until I feel like I need to stop. And then eventually, of course, I stop. And then I always try to stop, even though I'm doing it in groups of 20. When I'm ending, I may not end right on a solid 20. I may end on like a 22 or 23 or even a 17 because what's going to happen is I'm going to find someone that has a very noticeable, like easily rememberable profile name. Maybe they have a lot of emojis in their profile name because then I'm like, okay, I can remember that. They had cactuses in their emoji name. In their profile name. Because that just makes it easier, like to know where you left off the list. Now, if you complete the whole list, that's great. You don't have to know where you left off because you completed the whole list. But yeah, if you leave off, you definitely want to make sure you're doing that. So what's going to happen is I'm going to do that. Now, let's say I did do all 180. The next day, I'm probably going to have like, I don't know, 50 more requests, 60 more requests. That's awesome. Yay. So now I go accept all those requests. And then that night, I'm going to go unfollow everybody. So anybody that still didn't follow me back after that much engaging and that much trying, chances are they're just not going to follow me back or they're not on Instagram a lot. And either way, it's fine. I'm just going to go unfollow them. And then I'm going to start my following spree over all again. So this is what I did, guys, when I started. I did this every night. I would follow a bunch of people. I would go engage with the people that didn't immediately follow me back. Then I would unfollow the ones that still didn't follow me. And then the next day I'd follow 100 more or however more. Okay. So this is what I encourage y'all to do if you want to work Instagram, because it's crucial to getting your following up to do this consistently for a good solid couple months. And I know that it can get redundant and tiring, but guys, it's worth it. I literally sign so many customers off Instagram. So many. It would blow your mind how many customers I have that I've never met a day in my life. They've just seen me on Instagram and have seen me post about something and are interested in, becoming a customer. Same thing with potential distributors. I have several people that message me about the business from Instagram. So seriously, it's huge. I encourage you, as tedious as that may sound, just do it. Like, it seriously is worth it. And you will not regret doing it. I promise. So anyways, that's what I would encourage you guys to start doing. Um, and then another thing that I do is like a lot of people that I may follow may have been private. So whenever they accept me and then they request me back, when I see them in my requests on Instagram, I'm immediately going to go to their page and do the same thing. I'm going to like 3 things and comment. And then that way, automatically off the bat, they're like, oh, that was nice. She's a nice person. And then we're just going to, start engaging. Every day, probably like 2 or 3 times a day, I go through my Instagram newsfeed and I just double click, double click, double click. Unless there's something like trashy or nasty. In that case, I'll probably just go ahead and unfollow that person. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was how that person was before I followed. But basically, I literally am just like every day I go and I just gonna, it doesn't have to be something that's super time consuming, but I'm just literally gonna go through and I'm going to like. And I'm gonna probably do that for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna sit there, like. I'm not gonna go endlessly down the news feed and then I'm gonna hit the top of my screen, go all the way back to the top, bam. I like to ideally do that at least once in the beginning of the day and once at the end of the day. If it's a slow day at home, I may do it 3 times, but again, I do that at my own pace. So, but that way you're constantly coming up on other people's notifications. Brittany Hayes liked your photo. Brittany Hayes liked your photo. They're always going to see that you're liking their stuff. And so that's going to keep them coming and looking more at your stuff. Secondly, if there is someone that I think would be a great potential and I'm like starting to build a relationship with, like, I like them, they like me, they're liking my stuff, I'm liking their stuff, I'll turn on post notifications for them. And that way I know when they do a post, and I can always like and comment on that post. My Facebook is public, but my Instagram is private. So I make my Instagram private because honestly, there is a lot of people in our business on Instagram who have kind of rubbed people the wrong way. They've just been too spammy, posted too many like ad like stuff, whatever, and people have gotten tired of them and unfollowed them to where now they think anyone in our business is like that. And so they will give you a chance once I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say. Like, if when they immediately become your friend, they don't realize you're in the business and then they start seeing normal posts and they like you, then they see a business post or a product post and they're like, I didn't realize they were a distributor. And they're like, okay, well, maybe I'll keep following them. They seem really nice. They don't seem like that last person that followed me. But if your Instagram's public and you go request them and then they go decide if they want to follow you back and then they immediately see some It Works post when they're glancing at your page, there's a huge chance they're going to just not follow you back. So for that reason, I personally have found it to be very successful being private because they have no idea who you are or what you are. And what's going to happen is they're going to have to request you and you're probably not going to accept them the second they request you. And if you are, don't. I always accept people in groups, in waves. So if I go on a following spree and I follow 200 people, I might immediately get it, like the second I follow someone, I might immediately get requested back. I'm not going to accept them right away. I'm going to wait and I'm going to probably like accept them all the next morning. So if I followed a ton of people the night before bed, I will accept them all the next morning. So like right now, you can see on my Instagram, do you see that? It says 9+ follow request. So that's over 9. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11. I haven't accepted those yet. I'm about to when I get done doing this video for you guys. But there's no point accepting them one by one. If anything, it's just, you might set yourself up for failure because then if they're right there on their phone and they get the notification that you accepted them, just kind of same thing I was talking about earlier about immediately noticing that you're in the business. So if I accept them all the next morning all at once, chances are when I accept them, none of those people are even on their phone because they requested me like the night before or whatever. And so I accept them all, and then now probably the first that they're going to hear of me or see me is going to be on their newsfeed, which is good. Okay. So then additionally with Instagram, you have to be even more careful about your pictures than you do Facebook. So everything, in one of my other trainings I did for you guys, I talked about PicTapGo, or another editing app if you have an Android. Everything on Instagram needs to be very bright, very pretty. It is strictly about pictures, so you've got to go above and beyond to make sure your pictures look good on Instagram. Also, you definitely want to make sure that nothing ad-like is on Instagram at all. This goes about business and product. So if it's about the product, you really, really, really want to do a picture with you and the product, or before and after. But don't just take a picture of the product for Instagram. Um, and then also, I'm trying to think about business pictures. Don't do anything like of our kit or like join my team for $99 or anything like that. Like a business post for Instagram seriously needs to be like this. Let me pull up my Instagram and show you. It really needs to be like a really pretty picture of you. Like I did a black and white picture of me not long ago, like a few days ago. It needs to be like a pretty picture of you. And then you need to write something, you can't see, but you need to write something sincere from your heart. It can be short, it can be long. I personally like to write longer things for these business posts because I like to write a really inspiring, positive post. So I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to talk about what my life was like before the business and how my life in just a short time has dramatically changed. Now, even if you are early on in the business, don't think too much on this and think, well, I don't really have anything to say yet. That's not true. I struggled with this so much in the beginning. I was like, I don't have anything to say. Like, it's my first couple weeks in the business. I haven't even gotten a paycheck. Like, what do I do? That's fine. Just talk about how much is changing your life. You don't have to give specifics. Just talk about where you were in your life before and then where you are now, like where you're headed, how you're finally able to dream again. Like you finally aren't, stressed to the max, worried about the future because your future is so much brighter now. You know what I'm saying? Like just get creative, but don't hone in on the fact of, oh, I'm early on in the business. I don't have a lot to say. Just put that negativity out of your mind. You have plenty to say. It does not have to be this miraculous, huge story. But definitely tell your story. The more often I tell my story, the more interest I get. Whenever I stop telling my story, I stop getting interest. So seriously, guys, tell your story. Just be vulnerable, open up. It's something that's really hard for me to do, but I've learned to do it, and it's helped me. It's made me a better person too, not just in terms of the business. So, and then I always say at the bottom, like, message me. I would love to talk to you. I a lot of times will give them like a one word thing that they can message because some people, they don't know what to say. They want to message you, but they don't know what to say. They're nervous. So instead of, giving them, instead of just saying like, message me if you want to know more, if you say something like, message opportunity to yada yada, give them your number, then they're more likely to be like, okay, I can do that. I can send opportunity. And then she's just going to respond with info and this is going to be awesome. It's not so scary. I'm not going to have to say anything, whatever. And then those of you that are kind of like unsure about giving your number, I was kind of like that too. But here's the thing. This is what I would say to encourage you. If your Instagram is private, like we just went over, you have nothing to worry about because not anyone can just see your number. It's only these people that you have intentionally requested to follow you. And hopefully you didn't go request anyone that was a creeper or looked like ISIS. So, you should be fine. But also, here is one thing that I have found in my time in the business is there are a lot of people that don't know how to work Instagram Messenger. They don't even know it's there. Or they know it's there, but they don't get notifications. I don't get notifications a lot about Messenger. I have to look for that little number one or number two, red number. It doesn't like alert me on my phone usually. Also, I've had some older people, this is separate, not about the business, but about products, who have commented and said, can you call me or text me? I don't know how to work Messenger. And they'll give me their number. So, and then I've had people that have called me likewise off Facebook and Instagram or text me and said, hey, Brittany, like I saw your post, but I couldn't figure out how to message you. I had a lady order hair, skin, and nails just last month who is probably she's like my parents' age. And she said, I was trying to figure out how to message you on Facebook and I could not figure it out. But then I was like, oh, she posted her number. I'll call her. And so she called me and we got her order in that night and she's a little customer. So I really am a huge believer in putting your number. And I wasn't when I just started. So I want to make sure y'all understand that. Like, I totally understand that natural reservation of putting your number out there. But really, like you're in business, you got to think if you had a restaurant business, you'd put your number there, So just, I would definitely just not worry about that and not think too much into it. Okay, so yeah, for business posts, I would do something that's like very personal of myself. If you're insecure taking selfies, I still am, and I definitely was even more so when I started. I mean, I do it more now, but I'm still not all that comfortable with it. Take a picture with your kids. Like, let me just show you. Like, I've got a picture. This was a business post, and it's me and my baby. So, and that one got a lot of response. As you can tell, it got like 52 likes on Instagram, which is a lot for my Instagram. So anyways, like that, you can, if you don't want to do one just for yourself, take one of you and your husband, take one of you and your daughter, you and your son. Get creative, but definitely be very personal for business posts because people want personal. Like people don't buy products, they don't buy a business, they buy you. They're like, I want to join her team. And like think long and hard like why you joined my team. Or if you're on someone's team that's under me, why did you join their team? There's obviously a reason that you joined my team or their team. It's because something inspired you, something spoke to you, something gave you hope, and something made you think, I can do this too. So you got to remember, guys, you have to have that same effect on other people if you're going to grow your own team. So if you're always posting very like impersonal things, then you're not going to have that effect on people. So be personal. And then same thing with the product. Like post stuff that's like, so I did a post today with Lip and I. So take selfies with the products, or before and afters are really good. Before and afters of hair, skin, and nail are excellent to do. And then also little things like what the business is doing for you are great. So like I yesterday got a little customer while I was watching the election. So I did a post of me watching the election with a glass of wine, um, and screenshotted my email, put my email in the picture of my little customer I got. People who are thinking of joining you need to see that you're making money. They need to see that other people are buying from you. So definitely talk about that when you can. Talk about little things that the business is doing for you. I took my boys to Target and posted, mommy Sunday with my two middle boys, cake pops from Starbucks and Target. I'm so thankful that because of It Works, I'm able to spoil them and do these fun things with them. So, you don't have to be specific. Nobody has to know anything specific about you at this time, but just little things like that, little things to get people, I wonder what that is that they're doing. So that's kind of all I really wanted to go over was just a few little basic things about Instagram because I know that most of you, getting started, like you're kind of just unsure of like how to even start the Instagram train. And I just want to tell you, I know it's a little bit of work in the beginning, but seriously, it's huge. You will get customers from Instagram. Stay consistent. Consistency wins the race. And just stay positive. Like if it's a few weeks that you don't have a customer on Instagram, that's fine. Like you are going to get customers on Instagram, I promise. But you want to be following, this is my advice again, I just want to reiterate, legit people. Don't follow a bunch of businesses. Don't follow a bunch of like random, I don't know. Like it needs to be legit. Okay, sorry guys. It needs to be legit people. It needs to be moms. It needs to be, women. Even if they're not a mom, if they're an empty nester, or I guess they are still a mom, but they're an empty nester, or they're a college girl who doesn't have kids yet, or they're a newly married girl who, is just working and married and doesn't have any kids yet, or a single girl. Like there's so many different people you can add, but it needs to be relevant people is what I'm trying to say. Because you can be following all these other random people and maybe they're even liking your stuff, but if they're not actually potentials, then like what good is it? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my advice. And then another recap is I really strongly recommend doing your Instagram private. It's your choice. If you want to do it public, you can. I know there are some people that say to do it public, but one thing that I notice is the people that say do it public do already have a substantial Instagram following. So at that point, they are public because they already have 4,000 or 5,000 or more. And they want to be public, so any of these people's friends, like they'll come up on their suggested friends and these people are like, oh, this person looks really cool, what are they have so many followers, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? You're not there yet. So in this case, while you're building, I really think it's best to do private. And I'm not telling you to do anything that I wouldn't do. Like I said, I've gone from 300 to 1,300 in 4 months, less than, and my Instagram has been private the entire time. So not to be a dead horse, but I really recommend making your Instagram private. I really think I've gone over everything. I want to keep this relatively short so you guys can just listen to it when you're driving or in the shower or whatever. Um, Maybe while you're cooking dinner or something. It doesn't require a whole lot of hands-on watching, so hopefully y'all can find time to watch it um, or listen to it. Okay, so I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I was trying to think real quick if I had anything else to tell you guys about Instagram, and I'm not thinking I do. So, as far as following up on Instagram, so if you do have someone message you about the product or about the business, I follow up with them exactly like I would anybody else. Follow up Fridays, especially if it's an issue of getting paid or something. If it was an issue they were interested, but the conversation just kind of dropped off, I'll give them a few days initially. I'll follow up again, and then yeah, I'll just keep following up with them, as I feel led to. Some people I follow up with not every Friday, maybe every other Friday. Some people every Friday. But just so you know, you guys, last night I signed a customer off Instagram that has been watching me since the very beginning. She's been literally interested in hair, skin, and nails since the first week of July. And I've not given up on her. I've messaged her this whole time. Many times she didn't even answer me back, but she finally placed her order. So don't give up, just like Facebook. There's so many potentials on Instagram. Just go out there, build relationships, be genuine, don't be pushy, don't be spammy. I never cold message on Instagram, ever. So Facebook's a different story, but not on Instagram, I don't. So yeah, just make sure that you set yourself apart from those spammy type distributors that are floating around on Instagram that have given people a bad name, a bad taste in their mouth about It Works. Don't be like them. Set yourself above and beyond apart. Also, if you do any before and afters, I'm thinking of the stuff as I said I was going to wrap it up. If you do any before and afters on Instagram, I do delete them 24 hours later unless it's a really pretty hair, skin, and nails post. A hair, skin, nail before and after I'll leave up, and it'll just be a part of my Instagram. But if I do like a before and after the cleanse one morning, the next morning I'm going to take it off because it does make your Instagram look spammy. So you might get customers from it. You might get 3 customers that day, but then the next day go ahead and take it off. And it's fine to do another post the next day, and then the next day take that one off. You see what I'm saying? And I try to refrain from wrap pictures on Instagram. Now, I don't want that to discourage you and think, oh, but I've done that. I have posted wrap pictures on Instagram before. If there is a special sale going on or something, I do. And then if I wrap somebody personally and it was just jaw-dropping results, then yeah, I might put that up there. But I don't do a whole lot of wrap pictures just because those spammy type It Works distributors that are on Instagram that have given people a bad taste in their mouth, they blow up people's news feeds with wrap pictures. And so I just kind of try to refrain from it. I do the other products. Instagram I use to really highlight the cleanse, hair, skin, and nails. Lots of personal posts of me and the products like Confianza. I did lip and eye today, stuff like that. So you just use your discretion. You guys are all smart and you're all very personable, so just use your discretion. But yeah, reach out to me with any questions. I really hope that this helps you guys and can't wait to see your Instagrams flourish. Have a good day, guys.